Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Sunstein, for being here today. I'd like to follow up on one of the comments. You had mentioned that if any small business owners would like to sit down with you, that your door is open to them. You know, right now in our economy, with our unemployment rate where it is and it's sustained, one of the things that I've heard consistently in talking with my constituents, and I know this goes across the country, you know, in North Carolina and throughout, regulations are killing us is the #1 issue. Does that call to action? Do you hear that? Are you aware of that? And is that promoting you to move forward on more things?
Yes, I hear that every day, not just on my birthday, that regulations are causing problems. That's, I think killing us is the strongest phrasing, but I've heard that a lot also. I'd say if I hear that only once a day, it's an unusual day. And because of the historic role of the Office of Information Regulatory Affairs, created in its current form by President Reagan, that's something that we're intensely focused on. So there are two ways that we focus on that. One is this unprecedentedly ambitious look-back process where we are trying to go forward with 500 reforms that will be helpful in eliminating regulatory burdens. And the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, elimination of nearly 2 million burden hours. When I've talked to the business community that says regulation killing us, the reaction I've gotten to that one is, you're kidding, you actually did that? You took away reporting and paperwork burdens? That was greeted enthusiastically. So a lot of what we're trying to do is take away unjustified burdens. The other thing we're trying to do is to make sure that regulations going forward, which in some cases are the bulk of the concern, if they're going to go forward, they better have commensurate benefits. They better be saving lives or doing something great. And even if they are, maybe they can accomplish the same goal more cheaply. And in some cases, maybe they ought not to go forward at all. So the fact that you've seen many of the rules, not all to be sure, but many of the rules that have been of particular concern to the small business community being withdrawn for further engagement with the small business community. The most prominent of these was the Labor Department's musculoskeletal disorder reporting rule, where the Office of Advocacy of the SBA and the small business community in general found it confusing. And what happened to that is it was withdrawn. There was an EEOC rule implementing statute you enacted, the Americans with Disabilities Act amendments, which when proposed encountered a great deal of concern from the business community, saying this is confusing, regulatory uncertainty, and overreach. As it was finalized after a great deal of engagement under the with reference to the President's executive order on regulation, the Chamber of Commerce said, you heard us. It's good. This is very reasonable. We applaud this final rule. And that's a model where the disability community thought this was a good implementation and the business community thought it's okay, it's fine. That's a model that would be nice to follow.
I have one more specific question. One of the issues that's been brought to my attention are on private right of actions. In the regulatory agencies being forced to overregulate for fear of lawsuits. If this were something that were removed, do you see that this would decrease the amount of regulation moving forward?
I think the answer to that is clearly yes. Sometimes Congress likes private rights of action as a supplement to federal regulatory action. Sometimes Congress hates private rights of action as a recipe for overregulation, and sometimes Congress is neutral. So fundamentally, it's in your hands.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I yield back the remainder of my time.